Should I begin?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, so good evening, everybody at the Toastmaster Universe. I welcome you to the 825th meeting at the SDTM. So first, let me state the mission of our club. So the mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a very supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their leadership skills and communication skills practically, which results in overall self-development and gain of self-confidence. Here are some meeting ground rules which we would love if you abide by. First of all, we do not appreciate if somebody talks in an offensive manner about gender-based subjects or religious or political subjects. So please refrain from doing so. Also, we love to see your faces. To actively participate, keep yourself visible on the camera throughout the meeting. However, your audio should be muted unless and until you have a speaking role. Now, this is obvious, but keep your phones and laptops and mobile phones on silent and notifications as well. And if you need to take a call, please do so after the meeting, or if it's an urgent call, please mute your audio and go off the video and take your call. Now, as I said, it's a very supportive club. So after each speaker finishes, or even a role player, anybody, you can send them a commendation and recommendation to encourage them through a private chat. Now, voting happens after every section, so don't forget and encourage your favorites tonight by voting for them. Now, even though screen sharing is public, refrain from doing so unless you really need to. And also, the chat box is also public, but refrain from clouding the chat box from unnecessary messages. Two more rules here tonight. I would love since we have so many guests today, I would love if all the guests volunteer for the table topic section, because that is the only way for guests to experience how being a Toastmaster feels like. Also, keep a pen and paper near you because you never know when epiphany might strike. So I would like to now hand over to our presiding officer today, Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharmin. So, good evening, South Delhi Toastmaster and guests. How are we doing today? I don't see everyone on the video. Don't worry. When we'll be meeting face to face, it will become more real and not this. But still, if you can come on camera, as Sergeant Tam said, unless you have broadband issues or anything else, it will be probably if you can come on camera, because we have a lot of members and we have at least 7 guests today. So that's good to see. And we'll be seeing them as the meeting progresses. So I welcome you to another memorable meeting. And so we have a very interesting theme perspective. Now, there are 2 perspectives right now. Everyone wants an in-person meeting, but some prefer this setup because they don't have to move from their home. They're comfortably on their couches sitting. They don't have to do the effort of getting ready, getting fresh. Of course, we have to get fresh, but we can still be a little lazy when it comes to this particular format, and we can relax on our couches. We don't have to even move for even 1 second. But the other perspective is, in person, it has its own charm. Those who have been there will say that, yes, it has its own charm. Those who are not there, I won't influence you, but I'll just say that we will do that. The time is coming. Toastmaster Pandey, Toastmaster Arushi are looking at potential venues where members can come through all transport, through buses, metro, your own transport, whatever is your preference, through road transport or metro. So Toastmaster Arushi will let you know as soon as that is done. But let's get back to the meeting. So here I am as the acting presiding officer for this meeting, since Toastmaster Arushi is attending a networking event, an event which is organized by District 41 because they want to have an interaction with BP heads and president. But I told Toastmaster Arushi only one of us can go. Otherwise, then the meeting will get into a little jumble. So I thought you go and attend. Maybe next time when this happens, I'll go, even if I'm not in the EC team. So Toastmaster Arushi is representing us. She is at Marriott near Delhi Airport, and she'll tell us about her experience next week. So just listen to that, and then well, so how was your week so far? Let's start with Toastmaster Pandey.
Yeah, just you are talking about how my week starts.
How was your week from Monday till Friday?
Yeah, it was good. It is excellent, but still, I'm working in a manufacturing industry. In the month of March, it's high potential. We move around. We don't walk. We run. We run to finish, because whatever, how much we can produce, the best of the best, we try to finish it to get the best profit. So it was totally engaged even 24 hours in the night. Also, I'm getting calls, and some of the things we prioritize as a thing. So it's a hectic, as well as I'm enjoying my job. Yeah, it was good. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. We have a lot of guests here today. So I see guest Anvesha on camera. So if Anvesha, you can tell us, how did you know about Toastmasters, and just a few words about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Anvesha. I got to know about this by my sister's friend, Cheryl, and something about myself. So I'm from Bihar, and I'm currently living in Pune. And I'm preparing for my master's, and I've done my undergraduation in psychology honors. And I'm looking forward to the meeting.
All right, you will surely enjoy the meeting, and your experience psychology will surely come in handy if you're ever in the EC team. All right,
Yeah.
we have another guest Atishay. If you can come on camera, you can just tell us about how did you know about Toastmasters, and just a few words about yourself. Atishay? Okay, we'll come back to him later. Vishali? Okay. Guest Mehak?
Hi, I am Meg, and I am pursuing graduation from Desh University, and I came about 2 years back. But since it was online, I was not hoping to join it, but I was looking forward to join it offline.
It's fine. You can start with this format, and we'll surely take it to the next format very soon. All right. Okay. We have one more guest Nilanjana. All right. Another guest Dilshad, who I see is a very regular guest. Are you there, Dilshad? All right. Guest Madhav, are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
Hi, I'm a guest.
Okay.
So let me just switch on my camera just a second.
Hello, good evening. Nilanjana here.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Nilanjana.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm a guest here. So I think there's a second time that I'm joining here. So I'm just here to listen to everyone. That's all. Thank you.
Welcome. So yes, Madhav.
Yeah, hi everyone. So just a few words about me. I'm currently working as an associate with Bain. I've been on a couple of Toastmaster sessions previously as well, but that was like 1 or 2 years back. I haven't attended any of these sessions recently, but I'm looking forward to connect again with the Toastmasters community, and looking forward to learn from everyone else as well. Right. I'm a guest currently, but I'm just exploring my clubs for now.
All right. So I welcome all the guests who are here. Now let's hand over the stage to a TMOD who will take the meeting, and you'll understand how the meeting progresses as a TMOD will explain the role. So please welcome Toastmaster Cheryl as a TMOD.
Hello, everyone. Hello, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. So how are you all? I hope everyone is good and pumped up for the coming week, which is Holi, and it contains holidays. So yeah. So let's do a poll on oil crisis and get perspective. I need to get perspective on how to maintain my health. I need your perspective on a business idea. getting perspective on a project I'm working on really helped me. If I ask those questions again, and also, but this time, I spend a little time on it, one by one, each of them. Voila, I will get some answers within 5 minutes. Some beautiful answers I'll get, and some great ideas which I can implement on it. Perspective everywhere. How many of you take ideas, take help from your elders, from your teachers, from your from your teammates, or anybody? How many of you all take ideas and you get a blocker which you want to solve it right away and take perspective of different people you rely on? I know many of you do that. And I really aspire to be a great thinker one day. And how could I do that? I might sound weird, but I recently realized that one thing for sure, being a great thinker, you can rule the world, but by ruling yours. By that, I mean, I want to create whatever I think and make it happen. And for generations, people have been doing that. People have gone to their extremes and found planets, solar systems, and whatnot. They have made it successful, this possible world. People have, which these solar systems and universe, they actually represents and visualize like our own nervous system. It's weird and unimaginable, but somebody possibly made it possible by just thinking about it and made us visualize that. With this, I want to ask everyone out here, if you could share one perspective on anything, on any topic, what would it be? Anyone could answer that. If people could volunteer, it would be great. Toastmaster Aditya, if you would give any perspective on anything, what would be?
Perspective, any subject you have in mind?
Yeah, anything.
Okay, Vaishali has something, so you can ask her.
Yeah, Vaishali.
Okay. Hi, Cheryl. I'll say that my perspective is that we should take our own decisions. We should not rely upon others for our decision. And if someone versus yourself comes in between you, then it should be you as your own choice. Then how will you deny that your perspective is other, like taking my own decision or what?
Yeah, I totally agree on that. It is who we it is on us what we decide and what we choose to do. But getting some ideas and getting some perspective on it won't really matter, and it will always help us in some way or the other. So the meeting of the agenda is divided into 3 parts, and the first part is the prepared speeches section, where there are 3 speakers today, and they will speak around 5 to 7 minutes. And also one of the speakers has 12 to 22 minutes today. The second part is table topics. In the table topic section, we give the stage to our guests where they can participate in table topic sessions, and they can speak on any given topic on 1 to 2 minutes. Then the third section is mainly handled by the general evaluator, who will evaluate the whole meeting with its evaluation with their evaluation team, which is divided into 2. There is the TAC team, and also the evaluators who will evaluate the prepared speeches speakers. So yeah, so this is the agenda of of the day. And over to you, Toastmaster GE.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Cheryl. Good evening, everyone. So, as I am the GE of today's meeting, so the role of the general evaluator is to evaluate whole meeting, see the participation of people and how people are going to evaluate. And this is not a easy work. It's not a work for one person. So I have a team of role players. I have a tag team which will be helping me to evaluate the whole meeting. So I would like to call the timer first for explaining Toastmaster Aditya for explaining his role briefly. Over to you, Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandra. So let's, as our TMOD said, that the meeting is into 3 sections: prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. So today we have 3 speeches, 3 different speeches. The first speech is an icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes, with 30-second grace period on either side, which means the speaker can speak from 3 minutes 30 seconds to 6 minutes 30 seconds. 4, I will show the green card. 5, I will show the yellow card, and 6, I will show the red card. For the 5 to 7 minute speech, the time is 4:30 to 7:30, 5 green, 6 yellow, and 7 red. And we have another speech from 18 to 22 minutes with 30 seconds grace period on both sides, 18 green, 20 yellow, and 22 red. The table topic section will be between 12 to 15 minutes. Individual speakers will have 1 to 2 minutes, which means you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute and max of 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The grace period is only on the upper end, 1 green, 1.5 yellow, and 2 red. For the speech evaluators and the supplementary evaluators, your time is 2 to 3 minutes, 30 seconds grace period on both ends, 2 green, 2.5 yellow, and 3 red. For the general evaluator report, it's 5 to 7 minutes, 4, that is 30 seconds on both sides. Once again, 5 green, 6 yellow, and 7 red. And for the TMOD conclusion, it's 1 to 2 minutes, 30 seconds only on the upper side, means 1 green, 1.5 yellow, and 2 red. Back to the GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya, for explaining the role as always. And now I would like to call the R counter, Toastmaster Amit, if he's there, to explain his role.
Hi, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. Thank you, Toastmaster Sandra. So I am R counter today, and as a R counter, my role will be to listen you very carefully and note down the crunch sounds and crunch words you used during your speeches. So crunch sounds and words means while we are speaking, we are using So these are the pause filler sound, and sometimes we are using the unnecessary words like so, like, and sometimes we do the repetition I, you know. So these are the unnecessary words which break the rhythm of our speeches. So I will note down these during the meeting, and in the third section of the meeting, once called upon by the general evaluator, I will share my report. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sandra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for explaining the role for such nicely. Now I would like to call the newest member and the grammarian, Toastmaster Achutam, to explain his role as a grammarian.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So this is my first ever role, and I'm really excited and a bit nervous as well. So looking forward to performing the role to the best of my ability. So today I am the grammarian of the day, and my role entails to look at the proper and improper usage of grammar. Alongside that, I'll also be on a lookout for words and phrases, quotations, or even thoughts which are like wonderful and which are being used by all these speakers and evaluators. So I'll note them down as well. So yeah, yeah, thank you, Varsha, for pulling that up. So I'll go through the word of the day and the idiom of the day. So the word of the day is uncanny, which means strange or mysterious, or something that is very difficult to explain. And it's an adjective. Uh, what like we can call it rahasyamay in Hindi. So uncanny means that. To give a simple example of this, so I can say that our Sergeant of Arms Varsha has an uncanny ability to mesmerize us with her speech. So and we have two other examples as well. He has like someone has an uncanny ability to pick a winner. If you can move to the next slide, please. So, and the idiom of the day is bite the bullet. So it can be used in two different situations. One of them is if you force yourself to do something which is unpleasant or difficult. Uh, it means this, or it can be used in a situation where you have been brave in a difficult situation. So you can go through the examples. I'll be putting the word of the day and the idiom of the day in the chat box as well, along with its meaning. Yes, and yeah, back to you, General Evaluator, and I'll be preparing and saying my report at the end when called upon by you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achyutam. Now, I would like to call the very important member of my team, that is the listener, to check.
There is no listener. There is no listener.
So I would like to now hand over the stage to Toastmaster Cheryl to take over the meeting.
So let's start with the prepared speeches section. I request Toastmaster Kuber to come on stage and state the objective of Toastmaster Suneha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of Toastmaster Suneha's project is to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I wish all the best to Toastmaster Suneha for her icebreaker speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kuber. Toastmaster Suneha, my life a jugaad. Toastmaster Suneha, my life a jugaad. Over to you. All the best, Toastmaster Suneha.
How many of you have heard the word jugaad in your life, or maybe hack? Many. It means doing something in an innovative or flexible way. How many of you have actually implemented something in your life using a jugaad? Can you raise your hands? Okay. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, I'm going to take you through my life's journey, talking about 5 jugaads in my life. I was introduced with the concept of jugaad when I was a child. In early 1990s, my father changed my name from Surbi, which he thought was common, to Neha, which he realized later was more common. So after mulling over different names, he did a jugaad. He modified my name from Neha to Suneha. And in that jugaad, he did wonders. I got a very unique name. He said, my child, my daughter, you're an advanced version of Neha because you have Su in your name. For example, Web 3.0 is better than Web 2.0. So any Nehas out there, I'm sorry, I have an edge over you because I am Su plus Neha or Neha 2.0. So I love being a single Suneha in my school, college, office, wherever I went to. And this is how Suneha was born. While growing up, I was always a very healthy child. Or I would say I was not very thin. And in fact, people invariably call me fat. So one day I got so furious that, like my father, I did a jugaad. I got wildly motivated, so charged up that finally I gained 20 more kgs. Now you'd say, what kind of a jugaad is that? But my dear friends, hang on, let's not jump the gun. Now since after this jugaad, even if I shed a little amount of weight, people came up to me and said, "Hey Suneha, what did you do? You're looking slimmer than earlier. Great job." Since my father was an engineer from MNIT Jaipur and my mother a government college professor, being their studious daughter, I had to clear IIT. Moreover, everybody in the family wanted an IITian into the family because you should have something to boast about in the society, right? So I did a jugaad again. I went to God and wheedled him. I said, "God, please help me clear this exam, and I promise I'll organize a big puja for you in the temple." And you know what, guys? My jugaad worked, but in reverse. And this led to my admission in one of the highly reputed private engineering institutions in Jaipur, which nobody knew of, including me. So, fast forward 4 years, I did something really unusual, which nobody can think of in India. I decided to do MBA after engineering. This time I prepared for CAT, and while praying to God, I studied as well. And I got through. I got calls from all the IIMs, except IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, Lucknow, Indore, etc., etc. So anyway, finally, I got admission into a new IIM called IIM Kashipur. What, guys? IIM Kashipur exists? If you want proof, I can share the details with you right away after the session. Okay, I can WhatsApp you the details. Where IIM Kashipur exists. It is in Uttarakhand. Okay, come on, guys. So anyway, there I met my best friend, my soulmate. And you know what? I did a jugaad again. I married the guy. And my friends, he was an IITian. So finally, I got an IITian into the family. I'm a dog lover. And if you want proof, you can ask my elder brother. I love him so much. So I got a female Pomeranian a few years back. But being a night owl, it became really difficult for me to go for morning walks with her. So I did a jugaad again. After reading James Clear's Atomic Habits, I prepared a timetable and incorporated my dog's walk into it. I pasted that timetable on the wall to remind myself. And now, my dear friends, my jugaad worked, and my dog goes for a walk daily with my husband. So when are you planning to go for a jugaad? Thank you.
Wow, Toastmaster Sneha, it was amazing. So I request the timer to show the red card after 30 seconds, and meanwhile everybody can give their feedback to Toastmaster Sneha in her chat box. I hope
30 seconds up.
Okay. So now moving on to the next speech objective after the jugaad, I request Toastmaster Pandi to come on stage and state the speech objective of Toastmaster Shaman.
Thank you so much, TMOD. The purpose of this project for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, and also learn, practice, refine unintentional body language while delivering his speech. The speech is from innovative planning pathways. It's a level 3 and project 2. And all the best, Toastmaster Samir. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pandi. Toastmaster Shaman, designing for the next billion
It will be
users.
Toastmaster Samir, Toastmaster Cheryl first.
Toastmaster Samir, yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry for that. I request Toastmaster Utkarsh to come on stage and state the speech objective of Toastmaster Samir.
Actually, it was fine. Toastmaster Pandi was evaluating Toastmaster Samir, and Toastmaster Utkarsh will be evaluating Toastmaster Sharman. So we can call Toastmaster Samir.
Okay, okay. So Toastmaster Samir, Sunanda Ved Samir, save the date 12 March. Sunanda Ved Samir, save the date 12 March. Toastmaster Samir.
Thank you so much, TMOD. Imagine a scene. I am walking into a cafe, albeit a fairly dark, silent one. This is the first time that I'm meeting Sunanda's relatives. There are two people sitting on the other side of the table. I walk slowly. The entire room echoes, and I go ahead and sit in front of them. Now I'm facing two people. I look at the first person, anticipating some empathy on his face because I know I will be grilled today. I look at him and his face, the intensity on his face almost is like, Pushpa, fire him, man. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is intense. I look for some consideration on the other side and I feel, okay, he must be a little considerate. And the moment I look at him, he goes something like, Mahendra Bahubali. No empathy. No empathy on both sides. And then they start with this set of questions. The very first question that they ask me is, how much do you earn? I think for a while, and then I respond, Niumba, tuklak tasmi, taklak kasai, Niumba, laluhakwa. They had no idea what I was talking that afternoon. It was a mess. Despite all of that, after all of that conversation, they felt like I could have been a suitable match for Sunanda. And they agreed that, okay, let's go ahead. And he would be a suitable groom for Sunanda. Let's go ahead with the wedding. Now, the preparation started. I started jotting down everything that I needed. For example, I started jotting down the venue, for the cost of food, the cost of all the designing, decorations. And I am from Assam, hence that means I had to back and forth, also plan for traveling of 80 odd people. And I had to pay for all of that, right? And when I summed all of this up, the total cost for it turned out to be roughly about 2K. Now you may wonder, 2K, how can it be? Here K stands for my kidneys because it was that costly. I would have had to give both of my kidneys to pay for it. And as I was walking through that list of 600 odd people that were planned to be with, 50 of them are barely the people that I knew with their name and face. I could recognize them. The rest, I did not even know who they were. Now, the question is, why am I paying for these many people if I don't even know them? And in my life, they are inconsequential, let's call it that way. Why am I paying for them? That was one question that was always in my mind. Now, look at some of the recent news headlines that we have seen. Deepika and Ranveer marrying for 77 crores. Anushka and Virat marrying for 100 crores. Do you imagine the scale at which they are marrying? And we normal people sitting behind at our homes are thinking, I will want similar things. I would want to look like Ranveer Singh, though with a little less hair maybe, but I want to look like him. And on the other hand, the bride is thinking, I'd want the same lehenga that Deepika is wearing. Now that is setting false expectations for us, right? That isn't how it should be. In India, if you traditionally see how has marriages grown up, it went ahead from small gathering of people to, let's say, small concerts or marriage halls, and then it moved on to five-star hotels. And today, if you see where are marriages, we're going to forts and costing abysmal amount of money for that. It has to stop at some point because it isn't making sense anymore. If you just look at numbers, India is a fairly young country, right? We know that India is a fairly young country. Hence, what that means is almost 50% of India's population is below age 30. That means there's bound to be a lot of marriages happen every single year. And that range is about 1 to 1.25 crore weddings every single year. And people are preparing for that. Every single year, that is this many weddings. Now, I'll give you one percentage that you should remember. 60% of those marriages that happen are funded by loans. They cannot afford it. They're funded by loans. If you specifically look at the bracket of 25 to 35 years age group, 81% of the loan that they take is for marriage. Now imagine the amount of debt that India is incurring just to show off. There's nothing else, just to show off. They are incurring that much of debt. Now, are these celebrities really at fault here? I'd say partly. Is the media at fault? Partly, but most of that lies on us. Do note that for celebrities, this is a publicity stunt. There's no two ways about it. This is a publicity stunt for them, and this is a marketing campaign for them. They do not need to invest this much. For the media houses, this serves as a place for ragging up their TRPs. Because people like you, people like me sitting at home are watching it day in, day out. That is the truth. If we would not have been watching this, they would have not shown it. But because we are glued to our screens, watching this day in, day out, they are showing it every 24 hours. You'll see all of this happening.
Right.
Now, at what point do you let it go? For me, for specifically my wedding, I invested so much money that it took me 3 years to get back to it. 3 years. And imagine, in today's world, what we are doing is we are just incurring costs to show off others, which has to stop at some point. With that, I will give you back. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sameer, for an interesting look on marriage. I request the timer to show red card after 30 seconds. Meanwhile, everybody can share their feedback to Toastmaster Sameer in their personal chat. I think 30 seconds are over.
Yeah, red card, 30 seconds over.
I request Toastmaster Utkarsh to come on stage and state the speech objective of Toastmaster Shaman. So over to you, Toastmaster Utkarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cheryl. You're doing a wonderful and commendable job. So I am the evaluator of Toastmaster Shaman. She is delivering her Project 2, Level 5 from the Pathways Persuasive Influence. And the purpose of her project, once again, the purpose of her project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Her title of the speech is Designing for the Next Billion Users. I wish Toastmaster Shaman all the very best. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Toastmaster Shaman, designing for the next billion users. Designing for the next billion users, Toastmaster Shaman. Over to you. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cheryl, and thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh, for all that lovely introduction. So today is my level 5 speech. I would like to share my screen to present my deck. Can you all see my screen and hear me appropriately?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'll start with my speech. My topic is designing for the next billion users. So any of you is familiar with the terminology next billion users? Anyone? What does it mean? Any thoughts? It doesn't have to be correct.
Can I guess?
Yes, for sure.
Is it about internet users that are gonna come up, like the whole next generation will be on internet?
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha, is it?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Varsha. So what does it mean is exactly how Toastmaster Varsha said it. So people who are going to get online for the very first time and become internet users for the first time, and they are going to sort of use it for the first time. So how crazy it's going to be. I mean, these 1 billion people, or maybe whatever billion people are going to come and they're going to use the internet, and how they're going to change the trajectory of it. So basically, who are these people and where are we going to find them? So just see the map. I mean, this is, the section of prime growth where we will somewhat find these next billion users. But today we are going to focus on India. We are going to just focus on India, and going to share a little fact about, in 2016, I'm sure Reliance came up with this crazy idea of Geo, and it made internet and, talking on phone like crazy. It just made everything free, and people were like, what is this happening? And how is it free? How are things going to turn up for them? They're not charging money. And just because of this crazy idea, I think there are a lot of people who actually got online and got access to internet for free and was able to see what was happening, and they were able to experience internet for the first time. It's really interesting how Geo has played a very key role in terms of bringing so many people who were not able to afford these basic things like connection and internet and talking on phone, and made it available to mostly everybody, and people went crazy. So let's just see, this was some in fact stats from 2019, and if you could see from the chart, I mean, India mostly, the price of internet or data, mobile data, versus Switzerland, I mean, it's like 26 cents, and 26 cents is equal to like 19 rupees versus Switzerland, which has like $20. Can you just see the jump of it? And it's not like too many years from now, it's just like 2-3 years back. And this is the amount of 1 GB data for mobile internet, and India has made it available for so many people. Really interesting stat. Now let's come on to another interesting fact of KPMG. Actually, they did some report on this media. This is also 2019, and this is a crazy thing that we figured out. They figured out, like depending on the demographics. Actually, coming from what is the highest digital consumption in terms of video, and we found out that mostly from people from India. I mean, you can see the kind of percentage from December 2016. It was 60% to the jump to 81% to 87% in 2018, and these sort of socio-economic lowest people from lowest socio-economic demographics are sort of using so much data and so much video content. Is like crazy and really interesting fact so far that I figured. So why do we need to design for them? I think so this is the correct reason for why we need to design for the next billion users. And but not, is that easy? I don't think it's fairly easy to design for the next billion users. In our head it could be why not, and I mean it could be just for utility or for information that these people would be needing. But I think it's fairly uh, uh, fairly different that we get that notion for the first time that these users will be having to use. It's not just utility but also for entertainment and leisure, and leisure could also be one of the biggest thing for them. That is very easy to get online, and that could be the only thing for them to get leisure through. And it's fairly not easy, and absolutely not easy, if I would say. So there are some problems actually when we are talking about today, and how designers and design fraternity is thinking about how to design for the next billion users. But there are some issues we should actually think about and then move forward. There could be many, but I have laid out like 4 very important issues which could come into blocking up for designing for next billion users. So the first one could be cost. Now, when I talk about cost could mean not just money, but affording these very expensive phone or devices or storage in general, and it could be a huge blocker because they don't have access to these expensive phones or laptops to experience the kind of things that we are dealing and using over every single day with ourselves, and using cloud storage. And one important thing could be if we are sort of talking about it, if they have even a low storage, it could also mean that low storage could not actually load a lot of apps, and they could not be able to download a lot of data, and it could just keep loading, and it could lead to a very bad experience, and they might not be able to get the picture, or get the experience of what they're trying to do over with that app, or with that thing that they're trying to search. The second thing could be connectivity. Now, connectivity is a very big issue when it comes to, if you're talking about remote areas, and, the connectivity is fairly low, and sometimes, the connectivity could get blocked, and the experience again could get very haywired for them. So talking about, imagine if we could have mobile apps, which is in offline mode, and, is it possible? Will it work appropriately? Do we need to actually design for that? Not just apps which is online and which use a lot of data could only be into picture. We should also think about for remote places where we don't have connectivity at all, with limited access or no access at all. Like, how do we design for these sort of users? I mean, if they have access one day, what about those 2-3 days when they don't have internet connection, or there's no line, electricity? So how do we design for that kind of problem? The third problem, and very important problem, could be digital literacy. Now, we take granted for a lot of things, which is like icons, like the search icon, or how easily we keep scrolling or swipe for changing our reels or pictures. So it's fairly easy for us. We don't have to get educated on all of these simple icons like trash button and swipe, or maybe they might not even know what does swipe mean, in terms of they might not even know what is touchpad in their devices. So do we need to how do we basically make them aware, and how do we make them aware in terms of how to make use of these things? So one example could be, if imagine these users are not able to understand what swipe is. How do we educate them in terms of how to download their mobile apps, or how to use their products that they're dealing with? So it's very important for us to sort of design for them in terms of keeping them in mind, and thinking about very small things like product tours and video tutorials, so that give them enough information to move ahead. Otherwise, they might not just use that product, and it just would go for a toss. And the fourth problem is, which is literacy in general. So these kind of users, they might not able to sort of read, write, and also type. So this is a very big problem. How do we actually deal with two kinds of problem, which is literacy in general, and also digital literacy? So these two problems could actually overlap, and they might not understand anything in general. So how do we design for that? I mean, these people could not also understand English keyboards, and imagine switching from English keyboard to Hindi keyboard. One example I would like to share from a personal experience. Like, my mom wanted to type in Hindi. She is a Hindi teacher, so she wanted to type in Hindi, and I don't remember, like, I think 2 years back, she asked me like how to go from English keyboard to Hindi keyboard. So it's very difficult to, sometimes, get it instantly. Like I was able to find, but what about them? Like, how convenient you can make it for them, so that, switching between one language to another could become seamless. So these are some of the very important problems which I've laid out. It could be many, but these are some of the basic which will come as a blocker any point in time. Then, but just let's look at the bright side, which is, like how Google has done some of this, dealt with some of the solutions, and there are many actually. But let's see some of them. I've given a couple of examples, and the problems I have stated, cost, connectivity, digital literacy, and literacy in general. They have sort of, tried to done justice to it. So let's just see some of the examples how they have sort of tried to solve these kind of problems. So the one is Camera Go, and I also recently learned about it. It's really interesting how they have designed this app, which is a Go edition, which is sort of like a very light mode, like how you have these Facebook Lite and Instagram Lite, so that you can save a lot of space, and for even in sort of phones which is not very high end, you can use these sort of apps and still use those experiences in your phone. So Google has introduced Camera Go for Android users, which for even low end phones, you can have that same experience of camera where you can capture beautiful image and fast camera experience for affordable phones. It's really interesting. You can find these if you want. I can share the link to it. It's really interesting case study how they have sort of designed this and why they have designed it. Then the second thing is Google Lens. Another interesting video I was seeing. I mean, there was this lady who sort of was finding it very difficult to help her children, two boys, to do homework, and she didn't know most of it, like how to basically read the report card, or read ingredients on a packaged food. So Google Lens is something could bridge that gap for her, and she was really happy to use that, because if you scan those texts, it will read it out to you, so you don't have to basically wreck your brain and go text by text and ask somebody, where you don't have access to people who will help you understand those things. And also there are very interesting features like identifying plants and animals which you are unaware of, and also if you give it to her children, they could do like a step-by-step homework help. If you scan those texts, the Google Assistant, the assistant will actually help you understand what the problem is. Similarly, like the math problem, or a literature problem, they'll read it out to you and teach the kids within the app like how to do these problems on themselves. And the third one is Google Assistant. Now, this is not the same thing which we use in our phone, the Google Assistant, where you just say, okay, Google. This is going beyond. And in this video, even I didn't know, I think this could be a small sort of like a project that they would have started. So they did something, a very small project with Vodafone users, where they have this toll-free number. And when you don't have sort of Android phones, when you just have those functional phones like your Nokia 700 or 100, how do you actually use Google Assistant in that? So there's a toll-free number where you can just call, and you can ask any question, and the Google Assistant will give you answers to any question. Like if you want to know the time of your train or bus, or get answers to the closest chemist shop, or get timings for again, you're trained, or you're thinking about finding some answers to your problems. So it's really interesting how they have come up with just not this Google Assistant for the Android users, which is the phones, but also going beyond and having it for any device, not just any Android device, but any device. So it's really interesting how Google has actually tried to solve for these problems, and there are many more. I mean, I've just taken one or two examples from Google, but there are many products and many brands who are actually coming up and trying to solve these problems here. Really interesting to see how it's coming along. So what did we basically learn here? Is how things have changed already, and change has already started. It's just not the beginning. I think in the past 5 years we have seen so much happening, and so many things are coming up, and so many apps are coming up for these next billion users, and how it's going to change the trajectory of these next billion users. And we might not even know. I mean, they might just come up with something really interesting, and they might just teach us something new about internet and this age of internet. So the next billion user revolution has already started, and our goal should be basically, as designers, to make every user feel included and not excluded, that we design for everyone and not just a certain section of the society, no matter who they are, where they're coming from, where do they live, how much do they earn, how highly educated they are. Excluding all of that, we should cater to these next billion users and try to include everyone and make our design inclusive and make our future better for everyone. So that's it from my end. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shaman, for a wonderful, wonderful speech. So we'll move to the next section of our meeting.
Okay, we shall have voting right now, and Toastmaster Charmaine spoke for 11 minutes, so the speaker will be disqualified. We have two speakers now. I'll just let you know.
Okay. So who's sharing the poll for this best speaker today?
And I want at least 15 votes. So your time starts right now.
Guys, please share your vote for the best speaker.
Okay, time's up. Over to Toastmaster Varsha.
Hello, everybody. So I'm here for your table topic section, and I hope everybody can start volunteering themselves, especially guests, as I said in the beginning of the meeting, as I go through the rules and what exactly happens in the table topic. So first of all, table topic section is a very low hanging fruit because you have to speak only for over a minute to 2 minutes to be qualified for voting. And the topics will be given to you on spot by me once you start volunteering yourself. And that is all. Don't be nervous. Don't be frightened. If you panic and you cannot come up with something, just talk about how your day has been or how you were feeling right now in the meeting. You can also give us the feedback in case you're panicking. Also try to go beyond the 1 minute mark. So can we have the volunteers? I think the first is Anvesha. Am I right? Guest Anvesha?
Yes.
Okay. So just give me a second. Okay. So we are talking about perspectives today, and it's a very interesting topic. However, when I was thinking about perspectives, where do they come from? I think from reflections of our own human experiences. So for you, Anvesha, can you come on video?
Yes, hi.
Okay, thank you. So your topic for your today's topic is one way your parents raised you that you want to pass down to your kids. One way your parents raised you that you want to pass down to your kids. Anvesha, you may start.
Yes. I think both my parents have been very supportive in everything that I do and my siblings do. And the most inspiration that I take from my one of my parents is my father, because he's a very hardworking man. Uh, he's very determined towards whatever he does, and he is one of the reasons our family is together for most of the times, because it hasn't been very easy handling three teenage daughters and then my mother who suffers from mental illness. So that level of dedication and that level of support you can't find easily. And one thing that I would like to pass on to my kids is that level of empathy and that level of support that I get from my parents, both my parents, and how everything um and how your parents can push you to do better in your life and be there for you no matter what you're doing in your life. And most importantly, how dedicated you should be towards your work, and always strive to do better in whatever you're doing and never give up, because giving up is too easy, but working for it is harder. And just being dedicated to whatever you are doing in everyday life, be it small things in life or towards your career. And being personally, there have been few ups and downs in my life, so I'm grateful that my parents have always been supportive because of that, and I strive to become that parent that is supportive towards their kids, even though they may falter sometimes or they may go onto the wrong path, but still to be that supportive and uh, just to be there for your children. Thank you.
I'm very glad we started on a very grateful perspective. I'm very happy for you to share your experience. Now we can have a next volunteer. I would like to ask guest Vishali if she comes up. Vishali, are you there?
Yes, okay.
Hi. So
Hi.
can you please turn the video on if you don't mind?
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Can Aditya please spotlight her? Okay, so Vishali, today your topic is, as I said, it's human experience. So I'm guessing you have lived enough life to actually notice other people. So your topic for today is, do you think people are mainly good or mainly bad? Do you think people are mainly good or mainly bad? Guess Vishali, you can speak now.
Okay, so okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Varsha, for this amazing topic. And as you said, I have lived enough life for this, and I'll divide my life into two parts. The half part, in 90% of my life, I used to think that all people are good, and only, as our theme of today says, that it's only our perspective of seeing good or bad. For example, I went for an interview somewhere almost 3-4 years back, and they asked me the same question, that is something good or bad exist. That was a technical round, and they were asking me that question, and I was literally fighting with them that if even terrorists are doing something, then they are having their own cause and their own perspective. But uh, in, I will say, like in last 2 years, my perspective has been changed a little bit, because when I see that there is a somewhat tilted version, you cannot say that everything is fine or means it's only about perspective. Something if you are having some values, then it can be there are something which you should not do, and you should be on your values. And there are some good something that are more better than other thing. I'll not say good or bad, but there are better things and wrong things. So if there are many people who, rather than taking care of their own life, they are more interested in others life. And so if everyone around you, so I'll not say that everyone has particular situations, everyone has their own journey, their own experience and mindset and mindsets, and like way they used to do things, in that way they think the things. But yes, we are having a good word. That's all. Thank you.
I like that you don't have a black or white perspective, but like a gray area of seeing the nuance. Okay, now we have our newest member, Achyutam. Okay, if you can just come on, turn your video on.
I'm on video.
Okay, I couldn't see it. Okay. So, hi Achyutam. Now I want to, your topic for today is what is the most key human experience according to you? What is the most key human experience? Over to you, Toastmaster Achyutam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha, for giving me this opportunity to speak. So what is the most key human experience? So I'm browsing my mind and thinking about all the experiences that we have. So we feel happiness, we are sad sometimes, we are elated, but that would fall in this category only. So what is the, so I think, so I have this perspective about happiness or sadness. So Swami Vivekananda used to mention this, that whenever there is a fire burning, smoke will come out of it always. So it's like a coin has like both the sides. It has heads and tails. So nothing. So like if at some point of time you are happy, you'll be sad as well. So like it cannot be such that you are only happy for all the for like eternity and all the time. So if so we want to be happy all the time, we are looking out for searching, like we are, whether it be a job or let's say we are playing some sports, we are meeting new people, the objective of that is like we want to do things that are interesting, things that we like, which ultimately makes us feel happy. But for this we'll have to accept this as well, he will be sad sometimes as well, because some unfortunate event would happen. So so like I'd say over here also there's a gray area. I won't say key what would be the most key human experience. I think the most important, like we want to be happy all the time, but along with that comes grief, sorrow as well. Yeah, so that's on it.
Okay,
That's all
great.
that I can think of on this topic. Back to you, Toastmaster Varsha.
Thank you, Achyutam. Now, I like the fact that everybody is going for the gray area approach. It's very uncanny that everybody is, stringing along the same things. Now we can call Toastmaster Amit, our counter of the day.
Hi, Varsha. I am
Hello.
here.
Hello.
Hi.
So would you agree that our perspective also comes from our environment? Yes.
Thank you, Varsha, for this topic. So I can say that today I attended a session. So I am not agree with that. Our perspective comes from our environment, but apart from that, our knowledge, what knowledge we have, that create our perspective. Like everything has an energy. If I touch a table that has energy, any material, unmaterial thing, everything has an energy. But as a I am an accounts guy, I don't see energy in a table. But as a physics person who has the knowledge of that parameter, so he can say that yes, there is energy in the everything that is available on the universe. So I can say that our perspective comes with our knowledge. So the knowledge level that we have, that create our perspective. If we have a certain or limited knowledge for certain things, then maybe we don't have that perspective, wider perspective for other things. But that I can say that perspective, environment is also one parameter, but another parameter is knowledge. So our perspective always comes from our environment as well as knowledge that we have. And if we enhance our knowledge, we widen our horizon, then obviously we can enhance and change our perspective. That's my opinion. Over to you, Toastmaster Versa.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Now, since you said knowledge helps perspective, we have a lot of knowledgeable people here today because I'm hearing some great perspectives. I would really like to call upon any guest who would like to volunteer right now and get over their fear of speaking and gain a new perspective. Anybody?
I can.
What is your name?
Nilanjana.
Okay, hello. Hello, Nilanjana. Can you come on video if that's okay
Yeah,
with you?
I'll just try.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I visible?
Yes. Okay. Great. So now, as we are seeing, table topic is for thinking and letting your mind run wild. So today your topic is, what is the one thing that you want our future generations to achieve? What is the one thing that you want our future generations to achieve? And not just in the next generation, let's talk about the next 50 years, next 100 years, however far you can see. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much for this topic. This is very interesting. It should be the right perspective. Again, the main topic of today, like perspective is what? It's our point of view. And these days we are all distracted, right? How we perceive things are mostly distracted. We waste hours together watching YouTube and how to meditate and how to relax mind, but end of the day we end up binge watching, okay, or doing something that's absolutely stupid or unnecessary. So the thing that I would like to bequeath to my next generation would be try to bite the bullet when the going gets tough. There are uncanny things happen, okay, around the world, but it's okay, take it in your own stride, okay, because always remember that bad times don't end, okay, they're always there because this is earth, okay, we are creatures, we are humans, so it's an inevitable part of our entity. But the thing is that we have to remember that good people sail through, so they shall pass. So be hopeful when clouds are gray. So just be hopeful, be positive, and of course, be empathetic. That's very important. Slip into others' shoe, but don't stay there for a very long time because then you will also fall into their negative zone. So step into their shoes and truly quickly come out so that you still have your minds together and you can guide them the right way. Thank you.
That was very impressive. I'm sure everybody learned a lot from you. Thank you for participating. Okay, so we can have one more speaker. I'm gonna give the guests one more chance to volunteer themselves. Is there anybody who's willing to volunteer today? Okay, then we would have from our list. I don't want to give speakers the chance, so let's have Toastmaster Utkarsh.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. Okay,
Hi.
so now we are going to talk about our last topic. I want to end on a positive note. So, according to your perspective, what is that one thing that India does better than other Western countries? What is that one thing that India does better than other Western countries? Over to you, Toastmaster.
I think that's a wonderful topic. So what I have seen recently in my past couple of days, and I have thought about it a lot as I was thinking about whether I should move abroad, take a job there, I should do an MBA abroad, or should do an MBA in this country. So what do I like about India is the fact that we have such a rich culture, such a rich diversity. And when people that are in the Western countries, they don't have that much of spiritual knowledge, they don't have that much deep rooted knowledge that helps them and improve themselves. But when you see in India, every culture has such a wide variety of knowledge, and we just don't focus on material things. We focus on the material things, but there's such rich knowledge about the immaterial things as well, how we can improve our personalities, how we can connect with the divine, and there are so many spiritual masters as well who are in India. So that is why I want to remain a part of India, and I want to be here, to be in the environment which helps you. The company in which you're around definitely helps you. It has an effect on you. So I feel like that is a very important thing. And the second is, since I have grown in this country, so obviously there's an element as to why I inherently like my country. So in conclusion, like to say that I would always prefer India over all other countries. Thank you. Over to you, Harsha.
Okay, thank you, Akash. I think a great job done today. And also because we were talking about perspectives, you can find out who is similar to you. And I related to Utkarsh a lot. That is one of my important reasons. And another is food, like no country makes food like India. So now, can we confirm if all the speakers are qualified? Aditya?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go ahead with the polling of who.
So let's confirm the names: Anvesha,
Okay.
Vaishali, Achyutam, Amit, Nilanjan, and Utkarsh.
Yes. Okay. So I'm very happy everybody bit the bullet today. And out of these 6, please vote for your favorites. Favorite, you can only have one vote. And let me know. Okay, I can also see the.
You can
polling.
also see it,
Yes,
so you'll
yes,
have an
yes,
idea.
Yes, yes, sorry.
So let me know when you feel things are.
Okay. We just,
Good.
I think, need one more vote.
Yes, otherwise it will get very complicated.
Yes, there's a tie.
We need one more vote.
Yes, there is a tie, so please vote.
Don't reveal that.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, otherwise this is going to. Okay, we need one more vote, please.
Okay. I think we can end it.
Okay, fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Now, I would really like to hand over the stage to our general evaluator of the day, who is Toastmaster Sandra. Over to you, Sandra. You can take the stage now.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha. Now, I would like to first of all call the speech evaluators to evaluate the speakers, 3 speakers. So the first evaluator is Toastmaster Kuber. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Toastmaster Suneha's icebreaker speech, My Life, a Jugaad. Let's start with the preparation. She had the camera set all right. She was standing in front of it. She had her hair done, makeup, and a very wide smile on her face. And she put a coat on to make an excellent first impression. Her preparation said, listen to me and look at me. And she showed the excitement of a little girl. Moving on to the structure of this speech, it was a textbook structure of this speech. The title gave an excellent introduction on what she was about to say. She started with a funny story about how she was introduced to Jugaad by her father. And then she followed it up with her life stories, in which she talked about how she used bad situations and converted them into favorable situations. be it about her physical appearance, about her career choices, or about managing family expectations. And the cherry on the cake was the conclusion. As they say, end your speech with a message. And the message was well received. And the fact that an icebreaker speech was somewhere where you would initiate a conversation and people would like to tell about how Jugaad helped them in their lives. Her delivery was loud and clear, and she continuously had a smile on her face. As far as comfort level goes, she had questions prepared in her speech for audience engagement. Also, she flawlessly enacted her father, which I think is a very advanced feature in anybody's speech, to be enacting someone else and to display a conversation. She had asked me to make specific comments about the humor in the speech, but I think as an evaluator, I cannot really talk about how humor was the best metric for humor is always the laughs of the audience, which I think given an online setting, it is not best received. But in terms of technicalities, she used double entendre technique of humor where she says that she talked about her. She said that her family wanted an IIT in the family, and she turned it around where she got one into her family. She also used puns, and she also used misdirection when she said that she loves animals, she loves her brother. So all in all, in terms of humor, I am very impressed with her speech writing. Further, I think the objectives of the speech, where she was supposed to introduce herself, were well achieved. We all know a lot better about Suneha. And to start a conversation, I'll do my part. Suneha, I went to IIM Amritsar as well. I'm sure you're aware of that. And there was no, and I was an IITian too, but fortunately, nobody found me for themselves. So that was all from me. Back to the general evaluator.
So, okay, so very nice evaluation. Now I would like to call upon the second evaluator, Toastmaster Pandi, to evaluate Toastmaster Sameer.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As Navarro said that human being as a species have a need to see the hands. The speaker delivered a speech in body language. The most impressive part of the speech was the synchronization of his speech along with the content. So it's the emotions he expressed, like he said, Mahendra Bahubali and Pushpa fire, like that. So it engaged the audience by the body language with the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. Correlation between them was excellent. The next part is the emotion. The emotions, when he said that the marriage cost was 2K, it means the sound, the modulation, the ups and downs of the variation. It was excellent. It attracts the emotions of the audience and the speaker. And what the speaker could have added, even though that speaker, Sameer, is a veteran speaker, everybody would like to hear again and again, but the evaluation is for the speech, not for the speaker. When we are talking about the body language, the largest part of our body is our leg. So when he presenting the content related to the body language, he could have stood and presented so that his body weight, where it's lying on the legs movement, we could have seen that could have been better. So apart from that, to summarize, the whole speech was with the hand movements. As someone said rightly that the good speeches become excellent speech when you see the hand gesture. He used more than 50 times hand gestures, the visible hand gestures. It gives the effect, the impact, the correlation, the congruent with the content. The overall, it was the speech met the purpose of the body language. It was effective, and if he could have delivered by standing, it could be much better. And I would like to hear his speech again. And thank you, and over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pandi. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Utkarsh to evaluate Toastmaster Shamin.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now I will present my evaluation into two parts, which are commendations and recommendations. I'll start with commendations. I have 5 absolute amazing commendations for Toastmaster, the speaker. So the first is audience awareness. She was starting of the presentation, she drew attention to the content. She interacted with the audience, and midway she was asking questions. So 100 good marks, full marks on the audience awareness. Second, among the presentation skills. Oh my God, what an amazing presentation skills she has. She used the brand manual, the Toastmasters brand manual, and she added new facts. And she used a lot of examples of Reliance, Jio, and other companies. It was a great presentation. She used amazing statistics and use of graphics. That she did an awesome job on that. The speaker structured the presentation properly, and 10 on 10 on presentation. She has the speaker has an uncanny skill of presenting the presentation. Third, we talk about the comfort level. The speaker was very comfortable and confident. She was very clear, and the audience was able to easily understand all of the content. The fourth is the interest. The speaker created a very engaging and relatable content, and the speaker also used personal anecdotes like her mother's story. The fifth, the speaker had great eye contact. Now let's talk about recommendation. The recommendations are divided into two parts: something the speaker can work upon, and something that the speaker can challenge for. Now, starting with what the speaker can work upon, the speaker can work upon the crutch words like ahs and ums. The second is the speaker could have added more questions, since the time limit was 18 to 22 minutes, which is the golden time as per TED Talks. Third, the speaker could have constructed the content a little bit better and summarized the content at regular intervals. Fourth, the speaker could have adhered to the timeline and could have used the timeline to its fullest. The speaker, that she can challenge her is first are gestures, and second is vocal variety. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that great audience awareness, great presentation skills. She was very comfortable and she was very clear. The speaker made the audience interested, and the speaker maintained eye contact. What the speaker can work upon is the crutch words, asking more questions, the construction of the content, time limit, and what the speaker can challenge is himself or herself is the gestures and the vocal variety. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Now I would like to call upon my team to evaluate.
Let's vote for the best speech evaluator.
Okay, yeah.
I want 12 votes, so let's hurry up. Okay, time's up.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. Now I would like to call upon my tag team to evaluate the meeting first. So first of all, I will call the grammarian to evaluate the grammatical usage. Toastmaster, yeah, you were
Really, I was speaking on mute. Sorry. Thank you, General Evaluator Sandra. So I'll take you guys through the report of to my report. So first of all, I'll talk on the people that use the word of the day and the idiom of the day in their speeches. So Utkarsh, Toastmaster Utkarsh used the word of the day once in his speech. Toastmaster Varsha used the word of the day twice in her speech. And myself, I used the word of the day and the idiom of the day once. So I'll move on to the next part, wherein I will discuss the good words, phrases used by all the speakers in the meeting. So, our Toastmaster of the day, Cheryl, she used the word voila, which means there it is, or there you are. So, which I think is a good word to welcome someone. And then Toastmaster of the day, Cheryl, also used a good phrase, which was being a great thinker, you can rule the world, which I think is very thought provoking. If you are a great thinker, you can rule the world, and which this belief I think is synchronous with an idea um, that one of the Greek philosophers, Socrates, so he had written a whole book on philosopher kings, in which he argued that a form of government, and he said that philosophers are the ones who should rule the world. So philosopher kings are someone who are like uh, who have good political skills also, and who are very grounded with philosophical knowledge. So he wanted philosopher kings to rule the world. So great phrase. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Cheryl. And then Toastmaster Suneha used the phrase being a night owl, which means that you're someone who wakes up late in the morning in a speech. Toastmaster Samir used a lot of good words and phrases in his speech. I really appreciate that. He used the words albeit, grilled, inconsequential, abysmal. Yeah. So Toastmaster Samir on that. And Toastmaster Sharmin used the words haywired and so which means erratic or out of control. And she used the phrase would go for a toss, which means to be lost, ignored, or forgotten. In the end, I would like to highlight improper usage of words. So that was like very difficult to find, but I found one which I would highlight. One of the speakers said, "My perspective has been changed a little bit," and it should the correct grammar usage would be, "My perspective has changed a little bit." So that's all on my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achyutam. Now I would like to call the R counter for evaluating the R's and M's. Toastmaster Amit, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandra. You are doing an amazing job. So I am here ready with my report. So I am giving my report as the flow of the meeting. So first, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Cheryl. She used 4A and one time so. Toastmaster Sandra used 6A and two times so. Toastmaster Neha used one so, that was not required. Toastmaster Smith was flawless. Kudos. And now Toastmaster Sharmin used 9A, two times so, and 13 times you know, and one time I think. Toastmaster Varsha used 2A and one unnecessary so. Toastmaster Anusha used 5A and one so. Toastmaster Vaishali, not I am sorry, this is his guest Vaishali. He used 4A. Toastmaster Achyutam with 5 1 so and 1 like and 2 times each in the table topic section. Guest Nilanjana with 4 and Toastmaster Utkarsh with 3 during the table topic section. Now the evaluation section, Toastmaster Kuber with 8 Toastmaster Pandi was flawless, kudos, and Toastmaster Utkarsh with 5 during the evaluation. Now Toastmaster Achyutam with 8 5 so and 1 time key Hindi word during his report presentation. Toastmaster Aditya was flawless. So I want to share one idea how we can remove this crunch sound and word. So for that there is a very simple, do the practice a lot and be comfortable. So while you are comfortable, like in the social environment, while you are comfortable, you are not using this crunch sound and filler sound. So in the Toastmaster meeting, to become more comfortable, you have to keep coming the meeting, keep taking the role. In that way, day by day, you become more comfortable in your public speaking. That's all from my end. Over to you, Toastmaster Center.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for such a nice report. Now I would like to call the last role player, which is the timer, to tell the track of time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Over to you,
Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Sandra.
Aditya.
Just give me a second. Okay, let's start. Okay, so we had an interesting day today and we're going to finish well above time. So let me give you the detailed timing of all the speakers. So except me, who was timed with someone else, and Toastmaster Varsha, whom I did not time because it's fine. So Toastmaster Cheryl as the TMOD spoke for 5 minutes, which is crossing the time limit. That is 4 minutes, 30 seconds, but we'll still have the conclusion. So we'll see according to that. In the speaking section, Toastmaster Suneha spoke for 3 minutes, 44 seconds, a great effort, great speech, but you still had around 2 minutes, 15 seconds. You could have used the full extent because it's a lot of time, and you will realize this as you go further. 7 minutes is a lot of time going further. So you have to adapt your speech in that section. So try and make sure that you at least speak for all the speakers, at least in the green card, so that at least you know that you have spoken for a length, because here it's very difficult to time even if 1 second is lost. Toastmaster Samir, experienced speaker, great speech, great perspective on the topic. 6 minutes, 44 seconds for Toastmaster Charmaine. Her minimum time was 18 minutes, but she spoke for 11 minutes, 14 seconds, which means she would be disqualified because she was still around 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 seconds away from the cutoff time. And those are the rules. The table topic section, 15 minutes, 40 seconds. All the speakers, especially the guests, spoke for more than 2 minutes, which if you are speaking for the first time on this stage, is an effort that should be lauded. So let's laud the effort of the guests, the 3 guests, guest Nilanjana, guest Anvesha, and guest Vaishali, who spoke for a length of time. So we can take inspiration from them, but we can speak for that length. So guest, and the first speaker was guest Anvesha, 2 minutes, 13 seconds. The second one was guest Vaishali, 1 minute, 59 seconds. Third one was TM Achyutam, still novice to this club, so great effort, 1 minute, 52 seconds. Toastmaster Amit, 1 minute, 5 seconds. Guest Nilanjana. Okay, I said Amit twice. This way. This would be Utkarsh. All right. So guest Nilanjana, 1 minute, 11 seconds, and Toastmaster Utkarsh, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Moving on to the speech evaluators. Once again, Toastmaster Kuber in his maiden speech evaluation. So we had the first speaker and the speech evaluator as giving for the first time. So a great effort. 3 minutes, 8 seconds, and you'll understand the evaluation part as time comes. Toastmaster Pandit, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Toastmaster Utkarsh, 2 minutes 34 seconds. You can ignore this. This should have been read, but you can ignore this part. All right. So far, okay, this should be. Yes, this should be Toastmaster Amit. Okay, I got it wrong. Sorry. Great effort by Toastmaster Achyutan, 3 minutes 7 seconds, and Toastmaster Amit, 2 minutes 3 seconds. And I've just about completed the green card, and we'll have the general evaluator report and the Toastmaster closing comments as the time progresses. So my time would be let me just wrap it up here. 2 minutes 14 seconds. Back to the GE.
Amazing report, Toastmaster Aditya, as always. Now I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Cheryl to close
Toastmaster
the.
Sandra, it's voting time, and after that, it's your report time also. So let's vote for the best supplementary evaluator. All three are qualified. So let's vote for the best.
Launch the poll, please. Yeah.
After that, it's time for your report also. Let's speed up the process. Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds. Okay, time's up. Back to Sandra for her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. So it was all in all a great meeting, but as we say that there is a room for improvement, and there is all champions have a breakfast of feedback. So it's my duty to give you a feedback. So it's like, okay, so my report is divided into as per the flow. First of all, the first speaker, Toastmaster Suneha, amazing start. Some of the commendations, amazing start, very confident, very humorous speech, nice voice modulation, very funny speech. Okay, now I would like to give her one recommendation, that she should have taken some of at some time she should have taken pauses, so it will be like a good uh, all in all, she had a great well structured speech. So good take on that, Toastmaster Suneha. Congratulations. Now I would like to tell about the speaker too. He is a very nice and he's a very crazy man. I personally I love hearing his speech. So amazing start, Toastmaster Sameer. Nice voice modulation. Very confident as always, and well structured speech. This person doesn't need any recommendation, so it's it for that. So now come to the speaker 3. Commendation, amazing start, good presentation skills. Then it was very knowledgeable, and as a psychology student, I can say that statistics, yeah, it was there, good. And yeah, it was very pictorial, and okay. Now I would like to give him some recommendations, which is some pauses needed. The speech rate should be a bit low, because she was going a little faster, because as Aditya and as her evaluator said that she couldn't speak on she couldn't go to her fullest time. She had 18 to 22 minutes, I think so. So she should go means fulfill her time. So she should take some breathe, and take a bit of pauses, and I can say that no, that person, any of us cannot be nervous without while doing the role. So it's like, I should say this on her. She can work on her pauses, and the rate should be a bit calmer, and lower. Don't run like a, means I can say, should not run like going like a bullet train or something. So it's good. uh, then now I would like to come on the anchors and the role players. First of all, the Toastmaster of the day. Amazing theme, amazing start, amazing everything, amazing, means the theme, the enthusiasm, the start, the confidence, interest, and all what we can say. But the thing is, what is the main thing that audience or the speakers or the members or the people who are in the meeting, they see is their name should be whomsoever it is, not the general evaluator only, but whomsoever that person is, the name should be pronounced correctly, whether it is whomsoever. Name should not be pronounced wrong. It is not good. So that is the recommendation I would like to give her. And a bit should be one recommendation that I would like to give her, and should be confident. Don't worry about like anyone is judging you or so. It's not that. It's just for fun, so it's okay. And nice theme, all in all, so I liked it. Now I would like to come upon on my the last, and in anchors is the TTM. As always, Toastmaster Varsha, beautiful topics, beautiful start, and has a very cheerful face and a very good smile. So it's like very good, excellent. A person whosoever participates in this session led by this a woman, it's like can it's like motivated to participate in her any of the session. So it's like great. Now I would like to come on the timer, veteran timer, Toastmaster Aditya. So it's like very good, nice track on time as always. Amazing explanation of the role as always. Very confident, very detailed. Has given very detailed. And now come to the report. Very detailed report and great. Timing and telling the time to everyone, and the four last and the foremost is motivating everyone to speak, to go on time, like how Toastmaster Shaman was speaking and she couldn't go on time, so he motivated her to speak. So it's good. Now I would like to come on the evaluators. Okay. Now I would like to clap for Toastmaster Kuber, that he has started his journey as an evaluator. So it's good, amazing start. Good commendations given by him to the speaker, and nice start, nice and nice structure, well structured summary. So that is the evaluation, and you could like tell like some tips to for if some speaker is going ups and downs, so you can give some tips like in recommendation that how the person should be improving, like you could tell that person ki ha bhai thoda you can do some practice, and you can be calm and composed, and take pauses or so what. So nice take on that, but you could work on the recommendation. Now I would like to come upon the evaluator 2, Toastmaster Pandi. Okay, nice, marvelous start on the nice start. Summary was very up to the mark, very clear, step by step report, and very amazing. So Yeah, so I couldn't find any recommendation for this person, so it's okay. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Utkarsh, was very good. Used a CRC approach, well structured evaluation, then nice summary, and he also gave a tip to the person how that person can go through and have the speech as next to the next level. So now I would like to come to the R counter. As always, Toastmaster Amit, amazing start, very detailed report, great explanation of the role in the starting, amazing. So you don't need any recommendation, just yeah. So now the last and the first timer officer, Toastmaster Achyutam, grammarian, nice start. The report was not like a first timer, so it was not like a first timer. He gave the report in a very good manner, step by step, and amazing way of giving report. So, and to conclude, I would like to say that if a person is coming for the next meetings, not for this, I'm just so if a person is coming and giving you a report or coming and giving your report, you could just clap for that person when that person comes and gives any of the general evaluator a report, so that that person gets motivated. Yeah, I can do my best and go to the next level. You can I think you can motivate that person by clapping or by giving zoom reactions after his report completes. So you should appreciate everyone because everyone have done their level up after before in spite having many of the works. So it's great job. So now I would like to evaluate on the quality of the meeting. The quality of meeting was good, as always, maintained by Aditya and Azad. So it's like wow. And what could be improved in the quality of meeting? Like there should be, I think there should be a polling or something about the meeting, and at the end, so that so that we can make the meeting more lively, more uh, more improvements, or we can more improvements, so that see, members are thinking for more improvements, or be it the members or the guest whatsoever. So it's that key we need to think about the more and more improvement to take the club meetings or the club to greater heights. So this is all from my side, and congratulations to the first officers, first timers, Toastmaster Achyutam. Great job. Looking forward to have you in team next time. So it's great. And now I would like to hand over the stage to TMOD, Toastmaster Cheryl.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandra, for a very interesting take on the whole meeting and each of the roles. So concluding the meeting from different perspectives, let's take perspective on birds, insects, and other animals. Like from my design school, I always drew a bird viewpoint. So there I took a different perspective from a top view, and all have their own perspectives on viewing things. If we started looking different, we started looking differently, we might unlock our creative ways to success. So thank you all, and looking forward to the upcoming meetings. Over to you, the presiding officer. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Cheryl. So we are coming to the close of the meeting and a lot of surprises await you, but let's vote for the best anchor. For now, everyone is qualified. So let's vote for the best anchor and let's see what happens here. We only have 11 members, so I need 9 votes. Let's speed up the process. If you have heard of Operation Warp Speed, I need Operation Warp Speed over here. That's good. That's better. Let's make it Fast and Furious 11. Okay, I need one more. I need Fast and Furious 11. So anyone who hasn't voted, please press the accelerator and press NOS. Who hasn't pressed NOS button? I need that vote. Now that's better. Let's end the vote. Okay, let me just create the certificates. In the meanwhile, do we have guests here? Do we have our guests? We have guest Anvesha. Anvesha, if you could just talk through your experience and I'll be back with you shortly. All right.
Yeah, so I had a good experience. I'm doing this for the first time in my life, so I was a bit nervous about talking on the spot. But all in all, I got a lot of information about different topics and perspectives on different topics. And I had a really good experience. It was a new experience for me. So thank you all for that.
All right, guest RS Pandian, if you can also give us some insights on the meeting, if you're there.
Yes, meeting is very useful and very nice. Thank you.
Okay. Just give me a surprises coming up for all of you. I'll show you the winners of this particular meeting. So best anchor goes to Toastmaster Varsha. Well done with interesting topics. The best supplementary evaluator goes to our grammarian Toastmaster Achyutam, and this is just the starting of such surprises. So Achyutam wins his first ever role player role in his first ever proper meeting. So a great start to your Toastmaster journey. Best speech evaluator, no surprises. Another surprise for the day, Toastmaster Kubair maiden speech evaluation, and he's shown as if he was in his 100th speech evaluation. So great effort by Toastmaster Kubair. Best table topic speaker, guess Anvesha and guess Vishali are not here, but I would like Toastmaster Amit to send them a message, and I'll also send a certificate that they can attend and they can continue their exciting journey as guests and hopefully as members next time. And now for the biggest surprise of them all, can you guess who the best speaker is then? You've already been given a hint.
First time icebreaker.
It's Surbhi and Neha. Toastmaster Suneha. So a great start. So Toastmaster Suneha. So with that we come to an end to this meeting 2.5 minutes before time. And tomorrow for another club, we're having a meeting in Lodi Gardens. Whoever is in Delhi, if you are interested, you can come there. Of course, you're already a member, so you don't have to worry about the membership part, but just to experience what an in-person meeting looks like, if you are in Delhi and if you are interested, just to meet people and meet me so that we can get to know each other better. So Suneha, Utkarsh, Pandi, Achyutam, Kubair, I'm sorry, Varsha, you're not. This is just an invitation. Of course, I'll invite those members to our in-person meeting, but just to have forget what club it is. Just experience it. Especially someone like Suneha, Achyutam, because Toastmaster Utkarsh also, Toastmaster Pandi has experienced it. And I think Toastmaster Utkarsh has also experienced an in-person meeting. He hasn't. So Toastmaster Pandi has.
Actually,
so just to experience, forget the club, forget everything else. If you're interested, send me a text. It's in Lodi Garden. I'll send you the number of the VP membership and the president. If you're interested, just come. Forget what club it is or if it's a rival club or anything. Nothing like that exists in Toastmasters. So nothing like that. It doesn't happen like that. But we'll also do our thing very soon. So we are working on that. Toastmaster Pandit will let us know. But because it's a morning meeting, so we can have it in Lodi Garden.